U.S. Central Command saying it started launching a new round of strikes against Iran at approximately 6 a.m. Eastern. This follows a separate wave that took place overnight. U.S. Central Command said the attacks hit dozens of targets near the Strait of Hormuz and Iranian coastal area. According to Tehran, those strikes killed 7 people and injured more than 260. Now, you just saw there Iran's reported retaliation. It launched strikes on Gulf nations. This video is coming to us from Kuwait. You can see the moment a drone hit a warehouse there. Bahrain also reported incoming fire. Yesterday, President Trump threatened to escalate strikes on Iran if they don't reach a deal.
We're going to hit them very hard tonight. We're going to hit them very hard tomorrow night. We're going to hit them very hard the night after. And then next week, it gets really bad for them because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges. We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
And President Trump is walking back his plan to charge a 20% fee on cargo through the Strait of Hormuz. He says the toll will be replaced with trade and investment deals from Gulf states. The president told reporters he changed his mind after calls from international leaders. All right, we're joined now by Mohammed Sergie. He is the editor of Semafor Gulf, and he joins us now from Colorado. Mohammed, good morning. First, what are your sources telling you about these renewed U.S. strikes on Iran that not just took place overnight, but that CENTCOM says is taking place now?
Yeah, good morning, Errol. It seems to be it's part of the plan to wrest control of the Strait of Hormuz and get traffic going again. President Trump says that the strait is open, but shippers are reluctant, and obviously there have been really devastating attacks on tankers. For that southern route to become viable, the one that goes closer to Oman, there are certain military capabilities that the Iranians have in terms of seeing the ships and seeing the routes and being able to target. My sources at least tell me that the U.S. is trying to remove the capability to see and the capability to launch. And this is what you're seeing, an intensification of these types of strikes along that route. But from all the other indications is that the Iranians are kind of entrenched in terms of how they can attack, and this is actually going to take a little bit more time than 1 or 2 days or a week or so.
And we heard President Trump there yesterday not just telegraph today's attacks, but threaten civilian infrastructure in Iran in the days ahead. But he also walked back his 20% tariff fee, I guess, for helping vessels get through the strait after pressure from Gulf allies. And now we're seeing Kuwait get struck, Bahrain again. Are these continued Iranian strikes on U.S. allies really adding to pressure on the White House to negotiate a non-military solution?
At this point, I actually don't know, and I think that's probably important to say when you don't know something's happening there. It's unclear if the White House is pressured by the types of attacks that are happening on the Gulf. The Gulf countries obviously have some sort of influence and are pushing for a mediated solution, but one that actually takes in their security concerns. And the most important one is obviously the freedom of navigation through Hormuz. But these types of attacks have been happening for the past four months now. They have been measured in a way that the death toll isn't very high, but the intensity has increased actually in recent weeks, in a recent week or so on Kuwait specifically, and Bahrain, and they lack the same types of defenses that countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia have. So they're more vulnerable.
All right, Mohammed Sergie joining us from Colorado to discuss the latest. Thanks for being with us this morning.